go to the bank, I bring $1,000 cash back. It's going well, right? Like, how could this go badly? Handshake agreements, common courtesy of negotiating, of business deals. Like, what are you teaching your children? Today's video is a story time that I have thought about making for over a year, mainly because I'm super curious about what you all would have done in this situation. So where should I start? I guess just in case someone's watching this who doesn't normally watch my channel, my name is Amber. In my free time, I try to find things at garage sales and places like the Goodwill outlet or online estate sale auctions. Things that I can buy for a low price and then sell for a higher price on eBay or Poshmark. One more note before I tell the story. I have thought about telling this story for over a year, but there are some specific things I'd like to explain to make the story more detailed that would give away who the person was. I know that sounds ridiculous, but you could narrow it down if I gave the two specific things I'm not going to say. So I will make it a little more generic than I would have if I gave all the information. Okay, so one day I'm driving and I see a garage sale sign, and you know, the reseller in me is like, I really want to check it out. So I stopped, thankfully I had time, I stopped by the garage sale, and okay, so here's where I'm like, I'm not gonna be super specific, but they had a lot of kids. I walk up to the sale and they have tons and tons of shoes, a bunch of them new in the box, and then they have a whole rack in the garage of pre-owned shoes, and I'm looking at the brands, and there's some really good brands. A ton of boots from the brand Fry, and then outside the brands that are boxed up, they're not very high-end shoes, and not like priced at a price that I know I can make a good profit. Anyways, then I start talking to the two people running the sale, and they explained to me that they have a lot of children in their family. And I'm like, okay, so that's why they have so much stuff in so many different sizes. And in the garage there's a bunch of clothes and just all kinds of stuff. So I end up buying that day like, I don't know, 10 to 15 items. And 6 of them were these new with tags, hoodies, sweaters, whatever word you want to use, from the brand Nakatano. Actually, I should definitely look up how to say that because I'm going to be saying that brand a few times in this video. Let's see how to pronounce it. Okay, this is what Google says.
Nakatano.
Nakatano. So I'm close enough, I think. They had 6 hoodies new with tags from that brand. 3 were in my husband's size. It's in a style I thought he would like. And then 3 were not my husband's size. And they were $5 each. So I picked them all up. So six sweaters, $5 each. And then also, just for context, this is not specific to the story, but just to give you some insight onto my first experience with this garage sale. That day I also picked up a large bag from the brand Roller Rabbit. That was a new brand to me, and I was happily shocked by the comps. I paid $5. It sold pretty quickly within like a month for $50, so I profited $28.52. I did end up picking up 5 to 10 pairs of shoes, including some of the Fry boots. My 2 best sales were a pair of Fry Melissa boots. Paid $14 for them. They sold for $90 plus shipping, and I profited $48.70. And then I picked up another pair of Fry boots, the Veronica slouch boots. Those sold for $95 plus shipping. I paid $14 for those as well, and I profited $55.78. So my first experience was great. I got 3 new with tags sweaters for my husband, and then I got these Fry boots that sold really quickly and a couple other items. Okay, so that was my first experience. It was good. It was great. Fast forward. This was at the beginning of the summer. Fast forward to the end of the summer. Again, 1 year ago, end of the summer. And I'm driving and I see the sign again for the same sale. And of course, I'm like, I am definitely going back, hoping they have more stuff. Like I said, they have a bunch of kids. So I'm like, okay, maybe they, you know, went through more of their old kid stuff and they're getting rid of more of it. Oh, and another context to add, because people, when I had those Nakatano new with tags, a couple people sent me messages on Instagram and are like, are you sure those are legit? Are you sure they're not knockoffs? So a little more context is that this family had a very nice house. Very nice. So I was like, okay, they have a ton of kids. They have this really nice house. They must be making like pretty good money. And so I didn't question the authenticity. Also because they looked authentic. all the other items, the garage sale, like I have lots of experience selling leather boots. Everything looked authentic. Nothing raised a red flag to me. And just to add to the story, like I'm pretty sure all of it is authentic, was authentic. No question about authenticity. So let's go back to the fall. I see these signs for the sale again. I know I'm definitely going back. And I go back to the sale and I walk up and they have, remember in the fall I had bought 6 Nakatano sweatshirts, gave 3 to my husband. I had just listed the other 3. My sister actually was listing for me and she had just listed them. We listed them, I think 1 at 50, 2 at 65. 1 had sold for $40. The other 2 were still listed. Hadn't sold yet. I walk up to the sale. They have 30 new with tags Nakatano sweatshirts. And I mean, obviously then I'm thinking, okay, even if they have a ton of kids, why do they have so many of these? But I was pretty sure they were authentic. In the spring, I had paid $5 each. They were now asking $15 each for these 30 sweatshirts. And immediately I'm thinking, okay, I think I want to buy these. But I wasn't sure because there weren't a ton of sold listings online. And like that's a big investment into one brand without a lot of sold listings to go off of. But I was thinking if I buy all of them, hopefully they'll do a deal and then I can feel comfortable that I have enough profit margin in there. Even if I do, what's the word when you saturate the market? That's what I'm thinking. Even if I saturate the market, if I get in low enough, it'll be fine. Again, there are older children running the sale. And so I asked them, you know, what price could you guys do if I bought all 30 of the sweaters you have for sale? And they're like, oh, we'll definitely do a deal with you, but our dad needs to do the deal. So can you come back tomorrow and then we can negotiate? Of course, I don't want to leave because I don't want to, like, I'd rather just make the deal right now and be able to buy them and leave. But I was like, that's fine. I'll come back tomorrow. Also, they only accepted cash. And that was the same in the spring. In the fall, again, they only took cash. So I needed to go more cash anyways. So I left and I was thinking, okay, if they have 30 of them and they're asking 15, I'm hoping we can get to $750. That would be ideal. If I paid $750 each, I feel really good about buying all 30 of them. And then I'm like, but maybe we'll end up at 10 each, so I need $300. But I was also thinking I want a little bit of a buffer in case they put new stuff out overnight, so I'm gonna get $500 cash. I come back the next day with $500 cash. The dad is there, and instead of 30 sweatshirts, there are now 100 sweatshirts new with tags from Nakatano out. My first thought is, oh crap, I don't have enough money. But also, well, actually my first thought was like excitement, adrenaline, like, oh my gosh, I could buy 100 of these. And then also like, shit, I don't have enough cash. What am I gonna do here? And I'm like, let me just make the negotiation and I can go get more cash. So I talked to the dad and I was like, he asked if I was interested in buying all 100. I'm like, yeah, I mean, depending on the price, I'm definitely interested. And then he said, I was thinking $750 each. Perfect. I'm thinking $750 each too. So I didn't even negotiate. I was like, yeah, that sounds great. That's exactly what I was thinking. I'm like, the only issue is I only brought 500 cash. There's 100 times $750, that's $750. I'm like, so I'm gonna have to go to the bank, but I will be right back and I will buy all these. So I leave, go to an ATM. I can only take out $200 at the ATM. So I'm at $700 now. So I have to go to our local bank, which is even further. Go to the bank, I bring $1,000 cash back. I'm adding another buffer. I bring $1,000 cash to this garage sale. And I pay them the $750. And we start loading things up. It's going well, right? Like, how could this go badly? I just got 3 times as much inventory as I thought I was going to. I got it at the price I wanted to. So we're loading everything up, and I hear the husband talking on the phone, and it sounds like there's some tension on the conversation. And I'm thinking, oh no, like, I hope that's not related to me. And then the husband comes up to me, and I'm like, oh no, it was related to me. And he says, I'm sorry, my wife does not want me to do this deal. And I'm like, okay, what does she want you to do? And he says, she only wants full price. I'm like, what? That's not even negotiation at all. If I buy, like, the only way you'll sell these to me if I buy all 100 at $15. I mean, I don't know what I said exactly, but I said something. I'm like, so there's no negotiating, just everything has to be bought at the $15. And he's like, yeah, that's the only thing my wife is willing to sell them for. I was PO'd, like so irritated. Like, I already paid you. We're already loading everything up. This is completely against, you know, all, gosh, what's the term? Like handshake agreements, common courtesy of negotiating, of business deals. Like, what are you teaching your children? We already made a deal. I already paid you. We're already loading up the inventory and now you're going to back out. So I was so irritated. I was just like, no, thank you. And I like unloaded everything and just left. I was so mad. Like, I just don't know what you guys would have done and how you would have felt. I felt very angry for sure. Like, I already went out of my way to go get cash, come back. Then I left to get cash again, came back. I paid you. You took my money. And we're over halfway done loading everything up. And now you're going to back out on the deal. I was so irritated. And I have always wondered what other people would have done. Would you have paid the $15? Would you have somehow forced him to stick with the original agreement? Or would you have left like I did? Definitely comment down below. Now here's some additional context that I didn't have at the time, but I have now. So those 2 other sweatshirts I picked up in the spring, both sold. One sold for $65 plus shipping, and one sold for $55 plus shipping. So probably would have been worth paying $15 for. And then in the fall, I did that first day before, you know, I came back to negotiate. They did have 2 big winter coats for sale, and I did buy both of those for the full $15. One of those winter coats sold for $170 plus shipping. The other one I still have listed. So in hindsight, I ended up with 4 items from Nakatano for resale. They sold for $40, $55, $65, and $170. So it might have been worth paying $15 for. Again, I don't know if I would have saturated the market by getting a bunch of like items and then the price would have dropped. At the end of the day, it was just a matter of ethics. When he backed out the deal, when it was already done, I just didn't want to work with him anymore. And so I left. Again, please let me know what you would have done. I'm extremely curious. And I'm also curious to know if they're going to have a sale again. They didn't have one this spring that I noticed, and I'm wondering if they will in the fall. And then I'm like, I don't know if I have the guts to go back to the sale. But how are they going to sell those 100 items? Like, they've had 2 sales, and they still have a ton left. Maybe they're going to list them on their own. Oh, that's what I forgot to add. He did say that they used to do liquidation and they would buy liquidation pallets, and that's where those came from. So maybe the wife was thinking that she'll just sell them on her own again, and maybe that's what they ended up doing. Okay, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the story time. For the last time, please comment down below and let me know what you would have done. And right here is a video that YouTube thinks that you will like. There's a function where you can choose best for viewer, and YouTube will put in what they think is best for you specifically. And then here is the last video I uploaded. Thank you all for watching, and stay tuned because I should have a new video out soon.